Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and we're going to talk about that new High Republic video game, Star Wars Eclipse and Quantic Dream, and it looks like it might be in trouble. It looks like it's going to be delayed a very long time. We're going to talk about, again, the backlash from parts of the Star Wars community that seem to be, I'm going to be honest, it seems to be a tempest in a teapot. A lot of people on Twitter upset about Quantic Dream being the developer of this new Star Wars game. And I have to admit, even though it takes place during the High Republic era, screenshots, it looks pretty good. I mean, it does, but you're going to have to wait a very, very long time for it. They're talking like 5 years. Like 5 years for this game. We're talking like Cyberpunk 2077 levels of waiting for this Star Wars game. So we'll talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 249,000 subs. We're about 500 away from the 250,000 mark. If you guys could hit the subscribe button, that would be amazing. That's 250,000 subscribers. We never thought we would get there. And I also want to point you in the direction of our second channel, which is the Clownfish Studios channel. This is where we host Clownfish Gaming, and we're going to be putting all of our comic book content or art creation videos. Got a couple of things up here right now, but we're going to move more of our creative stuff over to that second channel and kind of detangle it from the news, because sometimes we can get a little spicy, sometimes the language is a little spicy, and we want to keep things as PG-13 as possible. So I will put a link to that channel as well. We're going to really try to ramp that up in the new year. But let's go back to this. Coming from SVG.com, new Star Wars Eclipse rumors are a serious gut punch. So here we go. This is James Carr. A roller coaster of emotions continues to take fans of Star Wars video games for a ride with a recent rumor about Quantic Dream Star Wars Eclipse, suggesting that development is not going well. This is a rumor. The game was announced at the Game Awards, and while it had a flashy CGI trailer, many were upset with the announcement that Quantic Dream is getting to develop a Star Wars game. Fans' anger comes from the company's history of a toxic work environment, as well as a few ongoing lawsuits related to workplace issues. Are there any AAA game developers that are not being sued for this right now? We've got Quantic Dreams, we've got Riot Games, we've got Activision Blizzard. Despite rumors that Eclipse existed, some fans were really hoping it wasn't true. Now, a new video from a known leaker and freelance journalist, Tom Henderson, contains more troubling information about the development of Star Wars Eclipse. Henderson himself recently disappointed fans by saying that Star Wars Eclipse is probably 3 to 4 years away. And now he has adjusted that number to 4 to 5 years, with it probably releasing in 2026 or 2027. Holy hell. This information comes from some current and former Quantic Dream employees that have said the studio is struggling with a number of issues. Yeah, Twitter being one of them, right? One of the problems that haunts Quantic Dream relates to its current game engine, which is apparently not working well with Star Wars Eclipse. Dun, dun, dun. Things aren't looking good for Quantic Dream. Henderson went on to explain that the reason why the engine isn't meshing well with Star Wars Eclipse is that Quantic Dream's previous game, Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human, are narratively driven, featuring small areas for players to explore. Star Wars Eclipse is expected to be an open world with multiple planets to observe, something that requires much more power. So this sounds like it is becoming the cyberpunk of Star Wars. Another issue facing Quantic Dreams is staffing problems. According to Henderson, Quantic Dream has 2 studios, one in Paris, one in Montreal, with the Paris location looking to hire about 1/3 of its total staff capacity, about 60 employees. It isn't uncommon for studios to hire large quantities of people when starting a new project, but the issues with the workplace culture have been widely publicized, especially in the Paris game development scene. Star Wars Eclipse is just one of the few announced Star Wars games coming after Lucasfilm delighted fans by announcing the EA exclusivity deal was over. An Ubisoft Star Wars game from Massive Entertainment, the team behind Tom Clancy's The Division series, has also been announced. Sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has not yet been announced, but is expected to be released by Respawn sometime in the future. Yada, 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 yada. So why are people so pissed off about Quantic Dream? Now, this, again, could be a tempest in a teapot, and I am not saying that there aren't legitimate issues going on. It seems like a lot of these gaming studio CEOs are pretty scummy people when you look into it, when you really look into it. But the general public doesn't seem to care. Twitter, however, does. In fact, I went out to Twitter, and here's their announcement on their official Twitter account, and there wasn't a lot of pushback. Basically, people were complaining that their other games need some TLC, that they're not getting refunds for shirts or something from the store, the wrong size, but not a lot of pushback on Quantic Dream being the developer. However, if you go out to the media, to outlets like Gizmodo, that's all they're talking about. Go to IGN, that's all they're talking about is how toxic they are. This one's coming from Gizmodo a couple of weeks ago. Why queer Star Wars fans are so upset at its newest video game saga. So they talked about when they were getting ready to drop the trailer at the Game Awards, and they did drop it, and this is Jeff Kiley, and perhaps many Star Wars fans themselves were not expecting was the reaction to who was making it. I was thrilled to see footage of a game that felt reminiscent of so many great classic Star Wars games. Chase, a queer Star Wars fan who creates LGBTQ-themed content about the Skywalker saga online under the handle That Gay Jedi. They mention he's gay. Yes, he's a gay Jedi. Told IO9 over email about their reaction to seeing Eclipse's reveal live this past Thursday, would have been a couple of weeks ago. Everybody was excited. The epic shots, the music, the fresh storyline. It does take place during the High Republic, as I understand it, and then they found out who was creating it, Quantic Dream. And they talk about the wide-ranging claims of toxic workplace culture, the violation of French labor laws. The reports also leveled a series of disturbing allegations about the founders. And again, I'm not saying this stuff is not true. I've had multiple people comment that they have a long history of this kind of bullshit. Unfortunately, a lot of these game publishers do, but they really did. The media really, really ran with this. So this is what's so weird about it, right? People are getting the kinds of games that they want, that they claim that they want, games journos. They're getting a High Republic game, for God's sake, a High Republic game, right? And they're also getting a Harry Potter RPG. And both of these titles are problematic because of the people working with them, or the IP is somehow tainted now because of, the people that created it or whatever. And I guess, my thinking here is eventually, no one is going to be able to pass the purity test. What do you want? Do you want a killer Star Wars game? Or do you want to, boycott on whatever grounds? And I'm not saying your feelings one way or the other are not legitimate. If you don't want to buy a product, don't buy a product. I'm just saying eventually you're going to run out of things to boycott. And we're seeing this more and more. I mean, God, it was ridiculous with Harry Potter because one developer working on the Harry Potter game, the Hogwarts RPG, posted some videos like 5 or 6 years ago that some people on Twitter and etc. found problematic. That they decided the whole game needed to be canceled. They still wanted the game. People still wanted the game. They just wanted to buy it like secondhand or something. I'm like, and then of course, the J.K. Rowling factor and all of that. And I'm like, she still gets paid, guys. She still gets paid. It doesn't matter if you buy it or somebody else buys it. She still gets paid. I don't know. Anyway, there are a lot of allegations. But what's interesting is like, this creator, That Gay Jedi, said, I actually learned about Quantic Dream's reputation and a little about the accusations after watching the trailer. First, I learned about them just bit by bit through some semi-critical tweets, and then later, I learned a whole lot more through my own research. So it wasn't like they were actually involved in any of the stuff going on. It was like, I saw the trailer, and I saw that it was problematic on Twitter, and then I looked into it, and I decided I was going to cancel them too. So life's full of tough choices, isn't it? But it sounds like this game is going to be a clusterfuck. It sounds like it's going to take years to come out, and who the hell knows what's going to happen between now and then? Who knows? There might be a massive lawsuit. The company might go out of business. Who the hell knows? 5 years is a long time. 3 years is a long time. And we'll see, because by the time it comes out, it could very well be another Cyberpunk where it still wasn't show ready, still had a lot of problems, and they shipped it just to shut people up. And its reputation is forever tarnished. So we'll see. Will anybody care about the High Republic in 5 years? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.